everyone. Welcome to Authors TTV. This may be the first, but it surely will not be the last. You are in for a treat. We have several interviews with amazing guests and literary artists and authors, and you will be intrigued and you can't wait to get their books. I'm Kanika Starr Reynolds. Grab your seat and get ready to sip your tea. Welcome back. My first guest is Stacey Thompson, who is the author of Words That Heal.
Yes.
I love that title.
Yes.
Okay, so I read your bio, girl, and you moving and shaking. I love it. Three-time graduate, a professional life coach, professional parent coach. I'm like, what is a parent coach? And I need one. Like, tell us about that. Tell us about you.
Yes. So yes, I published my first book, The Words That Heal, Encouragement for the Soul. It actually published in 2015.
Okay.
Yes. So and as you said, yes, I do have 3 degrees. So and I've been working. Going to school and been working. Yes. So now it's time for me to relax. I think I told my son that about a month ago. I was like, now it's time for me to relax. You're grown and out of the way. It's my time now. Yes. But I am a certified professional life coach. I am a parent coach, and I'm a motivational speaker as well. Yes.
I love it. Words That Heal. That's the title of your book.
Yes.
How did that come about?
So my book came about with me sharing my journal. So I shared just my personal experiences, life experiences that I've been through. So what I did was, I looked at, things that I've written in my journal and just related it to a lot of conversations that I've had, I had at the time with a lot of different, women in the community, and just hearing them, talk about, especially, being at the, when you're at the hairdresser and you're just hearing people talk, that's where tea, we need to have tea. We need to have tea parties at the hairdresser sometimes.
Tea at the beauty salon.
But just hearing that sometimes, you just hearing, oh my goodness, I've been through that. That's something that I've journaled before. Or, just hearing something that that you've been through, something that you've gotten over. That's a hurdle that, I got past that. I was in that. I didn't let it make me bitter. I came out of that. And just wanting to share and wanting to help other people. So I actually, just shared my journal. It was a struggle because I didn't want people to know, what I had experienced in life, what my inner thoughts were, and, what I prayed and what my prayers to God were. But I did that just to be able to encourage and help other people.
As I was listening to you, I thought about, how do you know you are healed enough to share such a personal testimony?
So when I know I'm healed enough is because I can speak in peace. I can speak in peace about what I went through. I'm no longer emotional about it. I'm no longer upset about it. I have a peace. I have that peace that nobody can explain. Nobody can, say that, oh, I gave her that peace or she got that from talking to me. God gave me that peace and I know I'm healed. Yes.
Like the word said, a peace that surpasses
all of it. Nobody can understand how you're at peace when they know where you came from. They know what you've been through. And sometimes they put you through it and still don't know how you're at peace.
Well, I know you've been through some things because you would not be here sharing your story or you wouldn't have written the book.
Yes.
But I want to know, how do you stay so put together? Because you can't look like what you've been through.
No, I stay put together because I know if I look like what I've been through, nobody's going to come to me. Nobody's going to ask me to speak. Nobody's going to ask me to life coach or parent coach because if I look a mess, I can't help you. If I look a mess, I'm going to come put together, but I'm going to tell you about the mess I had or the mess that I've been through and share that.
So the mess became a message.
Yes, ma'am.
And your test became a testimony.
Yes, ma'am.
I love it. Now, how did you do all of this with it? You said you had a son?
Yes. Oh, he'll be 30. He'll be 32 on the 18th.
You don't have a 32-year-old?
Yes, I do, honey.
Wow. You really don't look like what you've been through. I love it.
Yes.
So what kind of book is The Words That Heal? Is this poems or is this just, I know you said you got it from your
my journal. Yes.
But You do poetry?
It's my journal insert, so it's a very it's a short book. But I wanted it to be short because I wanted it to, something that you would be an easy read for someone. But then also there may be an entry in here that's going to resonate with you or something that you're going through, and you can go back to that and you can reread that. I'll never forget when I first released my book. I had a coworker at the time, and she got my book, and one day she called me in her office and she shared. My book, you see how flat it is, but it was so thick. And I was like, what copy did she get? But she had been reading it and just going through and marking the book and marking the pages. And it was because of the way she folded the pages and she'd wrote on them and she'd unfolded it and folded it back. It was just such a thick book. And that blessed me so much because that let me know I'm living my purpose. Yes. I'm living in my purpose. Yes.
And that transparency helps.
Yes.
Because you're a single mom, right?
Yes.
You've been through some things, but you kept persevering.
Yes.
College degrees, now a motivational speaker and author, and I know you have plans to write more.
Yes, I do. Yes.
Well, I believe you have so much for the world to see. You have a lot in you. And what I love is what's in you got to come out.
Yes.
So I think it's very important to put good things in us.
Yes, definitely.
The things that are good, the things that are lovely. And if it has to be something bad, it needs to be something that has been turned into good.
That's right.
Because we all been through something.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And
go ahead.
I was just going to say, and when those bad things, because we're all going to face bad things in our life, but when those bad things come, I look at that, okay, what lesson am I supposed to get out of this? What am I supposed to get out of this?
Yes.
So, something that I share may seem like on the outside that it's a bad thing to someone, but there's a lesson behind everything. Yes.
So what was the thing that made you write the book? I know you said it was your entries, but what was like, I'm going to write a book?
God. That was if you want to call him a thing, it was God. He spoke to me, and I woke up, and I even have it in one of the writings in my book. I would wake up every night at 4:44 a.m. I would wake up every night, and I would write. And I would write and I would rewrite some of the different things. And I could not rest. I did not stop waking up at that time until I published my book. So he would not let me rest until I did what he wanted me to do.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
I love that. I think that what we go through, we are to grow through it.
Oh, yes.
There's a difference between going through and growing through.
Yes.
And some people go through the same thing over and over and over again because they didn't get the message the first time. And we have to learn from what we're going through.
Oh, yeah.
And that's how we grow. We live in this world where even with social media, everything is the highlights of your life.
Yeah.
Nobody want to talk about when they was down and out and they was broken, busted, and disgusted.
No.
But I love the word because it said it was good for me to be afflicted
That's
so
right.
that I may learn his decree.
That's it.
So we don't know God as a healer until we've been sick.
That's it.
We don't know him as a provider until we have provisions through him.
That's right.
And sometimes it is when we are going through whatever we're going through that it leads us into destiny. That's what pushed us.
Yes, definitely.
And for those who are watching right now, I want you to know right now that you may think you are dead, but you are planted. You're not buried. You're planted.
Yes.
So it's going to take some water and some dirt, the ugly things.
Oh, yeah.
But you come out of it, just like Stacey.
That's right. That's right.
Thompson came out of it,
Yes. And you just talked about that dirt. And that dirt, the dirt's gonna come, but that dirt, it's there, just like you said, it's there to help you grow. It's there to nourish you. Even though you may think, okay, this bad thing has happened to me, but I always look at everything that comes into my life that seems in the world that would be a negative, and I think, okay, it's a purpose behind this. There's a purpose behind everything, good or bad, that I go through. I've just got to find the purpose in it and live it.
Oh, that is awesome.
Yes.
Well, listen, all I know is that you have encouraged me.
Oh, thank you.
You are truly inspiring, and I believe there's so much more that's coming, and it's just going to be you're going to be a continued blessing to the world.
Well, thank you.
And I just see you going up, because the joy that you have is contagious.
Yeah.
It's just like, I can't even look at you without smiling, girl.
And it's supposed to be. That's the way it should be.
Exactly. So, what's next for Stacey Thompson.
So what's next for me is, I'm definitely building my brand for Stacey P Speaks. So I'm building my motivational speaking brand. So I'm getting out more, speaking more, because I really thrive when I'm in front of people, when I'm speaking to people, when I'm seeing, those faces light up, or I see that tear fall, because I know, okay, behind that tear is some healing. So if you're letting that out, I know healing is right behind it. So, that's what I'm building on. But then I'm also working on, I'm going to re-release my book. So I've been rewriting a few things there, and I've been through a little bit more since 2015, honey. Yes. So I've got some more to add. So yes, I'm working on the re-release of my book as well. Yes.
And tell our guests where they can find you.
So they can find me on Facebook at Stacey P Speaks. That's STACIE P Speaks. Yes.
We'll be right back with Authors Tea TV. More to come. I'm Kanika Star Reynolds, and you're watching Girl TV. Welcome back to Authors Tea TV. We are having a treat today. My next guest is none other than Stephanie V. I just want to call you Stephanie V because that's what you're professionally known as. And I know it's a story behind that. And I want you to tell me right now. I can't even wait. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, the name Stephanie V came years ago. I went to a store to buy a fur coat.
Oh.
And when I bought the fur coat, I had laid it away for days. And when I bought the fur coat, a girlfriend was with me that talked Polish. And the husband and wife were arguing about putting my name in. And at that time, my name was Stephanie V. Ziegler. And they kept arguing. And finally, I said to the lady, what is the problem? My name is not in the coat. And she said, well, you want your full name in, but a proper lady never knows what her last name will be. You will always be Stephanie V, but we will never know what the last. So at that point, I became Stephanie V.
I love that. That story had to be told. I love it. You are so intriguing. I just want to say that. Like, I read your bio several times. You own a construction company.
Yes, I do.
And you build lives, not just interior design, celebrity interior design, might I add, but you also transform lives. Tell us about that.
Well, yes, it's a story behind it. I was a celebrity interior designer for over 15 years. Did houses for Dallas Cowboys, the Pittsburgh Steelers, New York Giants. I did a lot of homes, usually mega mansions. And I noticed that homes for people who knew who they were inside, they were beautiful projects. And then I had people who did not know what they wanted, and they always wanted to change. So after a while, I started realizing that those people who did not have peace inside of them, it was the internal home, not the external home. And then when I became a general contractor, I started doing homes for seniors and veterans who were displaced. And I would go behind doors, and I realized that every door had a story behind it.
Wow.
And these were people who literally were blue-collar workers who had values and purposes. I would cry with them, some of their stories, and I realized that there were so many things that they had that I never saw in the mansions.
Wow.
So through time, I started realizing that there wasn't a difference between building an architectural structure versus the internal structure. And once you can change the inside of someone, then and only then can they be happy internally.
You said a whole lot. You said a whole lot. How are you changing the world with that concept of what you just shared with me?
Well, I'm changing the world because it started from my own experience. I am a person that people will look at and they automatically write my story. They see a successful woman, grew up in a middle class type of environment, but what they didn't realize, that my life story is I went from living in a 14,000 square foot house on 7 acres, private tennis courts, to live-in housekeepers, to deciding I wanted my freedom. And I ended up sleeping in a house on a floor with no heat for many months. And during that time, something happened very miraculously. I would literally be sleeping in the sleeping bag at night and sitting in my car for heat because the person tried to destroy me, because if they could break me, they thought they could bring me back. But I knew I wasn't coming back, and it was devastating. I became displaced, but I decided it was not going to break me. And God came to me one morning, and I saw a haze on the floor at 5:30 in the morning, and God came to me. And when I woke up, I had a pad on the floor, and it said New Beginnings. I didn't question it, didn't know what it was. 49 nights in a row, God gave me 7 sets of 7. And when he gave me those 7 sets of 7, at the end it said by design. I still did not know what this was. Through time and working through the houses with the displaced seniors and veterans, one day I was on a plane. I started flying to St. Thomas, Virgin Islands, and I was doing $10 million houses design. And God came to me and said, New Beginnings by Design. And what that was, I was to start redesigning homes internally with the same processes and the same principles that I used for external, such as most people, when I say to them, to have a new beginning, what's most important? Most people will always say good foundation, but it's not.
I would have
What holds up a house are the footers. The footers hold up the foundation walls. They hold up the live and the dead load. But most people have more dead load than live load, so they cannot move forward.
Wow. Now, I read in your interview, when you were down and out, a friend of yours gave you an epiphany. And she said, I've seen you put so much into other people. If you put half of that into yourself, you will be a household name.
Yes.
That was prolific.
Yes.
Because so many people, even viewers that's watching this right now, you pour into everybody else, but then there's nothing left for you to build your own enterprise, business, home. So how did that set the foundation for the business?
Yes, see, I had known her for 30 years. She was a psychiatrist friend of mine.
Okay.
And at that time, I was displaced. I had given up my home, my job, everything I had when I married this person to build them an empire.
Wow.
And so I was totally displaced, and I said to her, what am I going to do? How am I going to make a new life for myself after 20 years building an empire for someone else? And she looked at me and she said, you know, I hope those tears are for him and not you, because he would never had the empire if it wasn't you. She said, if you had put a half into yourself that I watched you put into all these other people, especially him, you'd be a household name. All of a sudden, I never cried again.
Wow. Dry your tears up. I don't know what you're going through, but dry your tears up, because greater and new beginnings is here. I love that. Let's talk about rising from the floor. I looked at it a little bit. I'm like, whoo, this is a deep read. Tell us about it.
Yes, rising from the floor is because I went from a mansion to living on the floor, to sleeping on the floor. But I thanked God for the floor. Yes. See, everybody has a floor. And the floor, when I think about it with construction, you can't build a house unless you hit the bottom soil. That's the hardest. And when you hit the bottom soil of your hardest point in your life, everybody's not me. Some people can't get up from that floor. So rising from the floor, I actually teach you how to rise. Everybody deserves a new beginning designed by you, not by other people. And I take you back and you look at the bones of the house within you. It's like a house that's been foreclosed on. You go and you see all the boards, but there was beauty in that home at one time, and that house has a story.
Yes. Well, you definitely have a story, and I am excited to read about it, to know more about you. It's interesting because I met you a couple weeks ago and did not know I would be interviewing you today, so the world is small. Tell us where people can find you, because you need to be found. Listen, you need to be found. Tell us where they can find you.
People can find me on my website, IamStephanieV.com. We are revamping it at present because I have so many different interviews and just unbelievable things that are going to reappear on the site. And I am not a motivational speaker. I am a transformation specialist. Motivation's for the moment.
Ooh,
but transformation is a process.
Oh, say it. You are so deep. I just love it. I love it. And she's deep and she's going wide. So you want to stay connected to Miss Stephanie V, because this right here, you can't get this anywhere but Authors T TV. And we'll be right back.
Powerful women come and share their stories. Amazing. It is time for us to take charge and take back our community.
No, I never heard of that. And she told me that, it's a big upcoming thing.
I kind of went into this shell, and because I began to look different.
I'm Stephanie V, and you're watching Girl TV.
I would love at this time to introduce the CEO of Dreamspire Books and Dreamspire TV, Miss Renata Brown.
Thank you for joining us. My name is Renata Ray, or some people call me Renata Brown, and I am delighted that you have joined us for our live taping of our new show, Authors T TV. It is a part of our brand, Dreamspire Books and Dreamspire TV. But we're not just here to sip the tea, which we've been doing all day. We are also here to talk about an important cause, which is sickle cell anemia awareness. Now, many of you might know, and some of you may not know, my daughter transitioned from difficulties from sickle cell anemia. So, of course, it is a cause that is truly close to my heart. I want to let you know that September is National Sickle Cell Awareness. So I wanted to share a couple of facts for you and tell you how you can help in the fight to help people with sickle cell anemia. So sickle cell anemia is a genetic disease. That means you can't catch it, you're born with it. And it happens when it's a mutation of the red blood cells. So all of our blood cells normally are round, but when you have sickle cell anemia, your cells sickle. So that causes them to be hard to go through the bloodstream, and sickle cell can affect any organ in the body, and sometimes it indeed leads to organ failure. Now, a person with sickle cell anemia will experience a great deal of pain in their life, but that's the bad news. The good news is there have been advances in the treatment of sickle cell anemia. The average lifespan when my daughter was born for sickle cell anemia was a teenager. Now people are living full lives into their 40s, 50s, and sometimes 60s and beyond with sickle cell anemia. So learn more. You can go to one of my favorite charities. You might know Junior from the Steve Harvey Show, morning show. Well, he is living with sickle cell anemia, and he has a foundation, Cares Hope. Join with them and learn more about sickle cell anemia. Most cities and states have a sickle cell anemia foundation. Find how you can help in the fight and the awareness of those living with sickle cell anemia.
Hi, it's your girl LaShawn Broaden, aka Miss Lyric, the founder of Shepowerment, and I'm super excited to be announcing our merger and launch with Girl TV, and we are bringing Arthur's Tea TV to a city near you. Listen, get ready. We going up, 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 up. Share your story. You know what we do. We get you out here.
For those of you that are listening today, I want y'all to hear the pattern. Just hear what Blossom is stating.
One thing about me, I'm not ashamed of nothing I've been through. Not, if I put it on page 23, I don't care what you say or think about me.
I had been suicidal. I had almost lost my faith. Things in my marriage had gotten worse.
I ain't have no mama. My dad was in prison for 8 years of my life.
Sitting in the hospital, my mind literally
That's a place they have to visit often.
Okay.
And so, but then it comes to walking in your values.
Remember to love yourself, love everybody, and be an example.